Hi there, welcome back to my second monthly garden tour. So I watched the video from June 1st. Hi puppy. I watched it this morning and I am amazed at how much has grown in a month. So let's take a look. So here we have the bay leaf. Wow, I drew a blank on that already. And then the berries here, you can see the loganberries, the boysenberries, the raspberries, the blackberries, and the blueberries have all grown, and as well as the squash and tomato plants that I added in there just for the season. So the tomato, the volunteer cherry tomato in the back, has a ton of cherry tomatoes every day. It's the first one that I've gotten, so I get a handful every day. And none of the other tomatoes have had anything yet. So this is the other volunteer, so it's a lot bigger than it was. The berries are, the beans are growing up on the trellis. The leaves look a little funky, but they're still growing, so we'll see. And then this is a beautiful new addition to my garden, and I love how the bean is just wrapping itself on there. So some tomatoes with lots of actual tomatoes on them now. So that's exciting. The tomatillo has just taken over this bed. It's just huge. So that's super exciting. The cucumber has given me so many cucumbers. I have 5 huge jars of pickles, and I'm afraid it's gonna just keep going. The big ones are bitter, so I've been throwing those out or composting them, and then just using the smaller ones. This is the spoon tomato, the teeny tiny tomatoes. I have one inside that I've been harvesting, but this is not ready yet, but it's just getting gigantic. So it's really cute looking. So our herb bin, remember the Chinese chives from last time? They are still teeny tiny. It's taken forever for them to grow. The Tulsi basil, holy basil's getting there. Remember the sage, golden sage, and then the stevia, just one little sad stevia plant, but it's better than nothing. The mint, I've learned, needs extra water, so I've been having to supplement that from the sprinklers. So here we have our second bed. Look at all of those tomatoes. It's so gorgeous. I just love how they trellis down. So beautiful. And then the cucumber, look at this massive cucumber in the bottom. That's supposed to be a pickling cucumber, so it's gonna be saved for seed. So that cucumber plant's doing well. Lots and lots of tomatoes here. We got, this is it's the World's Best Wonder tomato. It's supposed to be a huge one, so that's kind of cool. The nasturtium's looking gorgeous. And then last time I had one of the lima beans planted, and now we got a couple. Still not doing that great, but better than nothing. And then here we have some beautiful, look at the colors. Look at it's anthocyanins, I can't pronounce it, something like that. And that's that color in the tomatoes, and that's a really healthy part to the colored tomatoes, specifically like the black ones and the dark purple. I definitely have hornworms. I haven't had a chance to go out with my black light yet, but I've caught 4 and saving them for my daughter. So you can see here, these are beautiful in color as well. Still saving seeds from the Celtis. The ground cherry has gotten a lot bigger and spread, and you can see it looks like we got a couple. That's really exciting. This is what they look like inside. You're supposed to just eat them. Yeah, not a fan. Actually, it might be an acquired taste. It reminds me of something. I'll have to think of it, but this is another cucumber. I really like this cucumber for California because it's these white ones, and none of them have been bitter so far, so that's been really cool. And this tomato is taller than I am already. It's got some beautiful tomatoes. Oh, look at the purple over there. So pretty. I just planted some marigolds, so those are coming in nicely, just in a few spots. And then remember the the volunteer tomato over here that I put the basket over? It's kind of going a little crazy. The St. John's wort, my poor little hydrangea. I'm not sure if it's gonna make it or not. So, ooh, but look at the back. Lots and lots of grapes. Grapes are coming in. This here, these flowers, I want to say are Queen Anne's lace, although the tag got lost, so I'm not 100% sure. And then this is calendula. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I'm not going to do anything with it this year, but in the future it makes some really cool like medicinal like properties, so I'll use that. Those are so cute. And again, not sure because the tags. I'm supposed to have someone making me some wooden tags, but they are not. So as of right now, you can see like the tags just fly away. So unfortunately, that's what's been happening. Here's my peppers. They're looking pretty good. And the cucumber behind it, look at that. It's gigantic. This is my sunflower. It was the volunteer. We weren't sure what it was. Thought it was a cucumber at first, and then it's definitely sunflower. So I pruned the bottom leaves, and it's definitely, it's really tall. I'd say it's 8 feet right now, so it's gonna be cool. The flower part's kind of small compared to its legs. So we'll see what it looks like. But beautiful cucumber. This is a new addition. This is ginger mint. I had my friend, we bought it together and he planted it, so he's very excited about that. And let's look at the basil. So here's the basil. Remember I told you I had 11 different varieties. They're growing nice and big. It's getting a little eaten, getting a little bit, they're starting to bolt because of the weather, but it's okay, I still eat them. So pretty. Grapevine, hop vine. Oh, and this is new. This is dahlia. So beautiful. It's just like, it's perfect. So beautiful. And then the peanuts. Remember the peanuts? Getting nice and big. Got some pretty flowers still. And this is probably my favorite part of the garden. Got to back up for this though. The trellis. It has grown so much. If you look back in the first video, there was only one plant that kind of went halfway, but now they're all reaching up all over the place. So gorgeous. So here we have a Tennessee spinner gourd, this little guy. And of course we've seen all the small wonder acorn, not acorn, spaghetti squash. And then this is like a long handled dipper gourd. It's got a little bit of, the caterpillars are liking it, liking all of them. So they all have this little weird sap thing. And then here, these, they're kind of like orangey, but they're called scarlet runner beans, and it's a perennial, oddly enough, which beans are not normally. So this came back actually from last fall when I grew it. But I just love how it is reaching all the way up now, and pretty soon I'll have some stuff dangling down, which is my goal. It's just so beautiful, and the bees love it. Okay, so here we have the heart of gold melon. It's getting nice and big. I might support that with some pantyhose. Oh, I didn't see the second one there. That's cool. And then over here, this is going to be Black Beauty tomato, and I'm really excited about that one. This is where I caught some of the tomato hornworms though, so I definitely need to do black light. But you can see the shoulders of the tomato are starting to get the color, which is cool. Pepper, asparagus. I planted huckleberry and I didn't even like really pay attention. I didn't think it was growing, but it is growing and it's even ripening. So I'm very excited about that. Probably won't do anything with it this year because it just looks like one plant, but good to know, and I can plant more next year. So it's kind of cool. Something's definitely been eating it from day one, but it's still growing and providing fruit, so I'm not worried about it. The green stalk is doing about the same. Strawberries. I try and save them for Scarlett because she loves the strawberries. And then over here, I told you last time I had 4 pepper plants that grew. So one's getting kind of big, a couple. So I think I have like maybe 7 or 8 now. So still did not do great, but I'm gonna overwinter them. So I'll have a head start for next year. All right, sunbathing. Okay, so over here, this is one more bed with some melon, watermelon, and chard, and a tomato. But back here, the perennial garden, again, still looks kind of bare. It does have a pretty dahlia here, too. Not as nice, but lots of the spring things are pretty much gone. This, and I cannot pronounce it, but these flowers are gorgeous. Look at that. But it's Gaillardia, so that's really pretty, and there's tons of them, so I really like how that looks. And then this guy's new. That's another dahlia. When they are fully established, this and that red one I showed you were they're going to be dinner plate dahlias, which means they're supposed to be huge and often need support. My roselle, looking so gorgeous. Look at this flower and these like bud pods, so cool. And then this is a summer squash. I picked one for a birthday party to give to the hostess, and it was probably like 3 feet long. It was so huge, and so now I'm finally getting a second one, so that's exciting. And then this is they're a little bit, there's a couple nice looking ones. This is strawberry lemonade cosmos. Scarlett wanted to plant those. Some pretty flowers back there. This is the plumeria with the pepper and the watermelon. Last time they were just teeny tiny, tiny, tiny little plants. And then this is the other plumeria. The leaves are finally starting to grow. Pepper here, and then a bunch of watermelon plants. And you can see there's 4 watermelons growing here. So this one's kind of nice. He'll need support too. So my tomatoes in the Home Depot buckets, look at this coloring. Oh my goodness. It's the sun that does that. So like if you grew it in a greenhouse or with shade cloth, the color would be gone, or just at least not as pronounced. So lots of tomatoes. Some funky looking tomato right here. This guy does not like being hand watered. Most of them are getting blossom end rot like this guy. I just pick him off and put him down. So next year definitely need to put him any kind of paste tomato. Need to put that in a sprinkler system. Look at how gorgeous this just row of tomatoes is. This makes me so happy. It'd be so cool if they ripened all at the same time and you could just snip off that whole branch. This is another paste tomato that does not like being hand watered because it's just too inconsistent. So there's a good example of blossom end rot. So probably won't get much from this, the paste tomatoes in the buckets. But remember last month, these two were like to the ground, so they're a lot bigger. They look pretty good. Okay, so here is my, what is this one? Apricot, and then the ground looking pretty good. Here's a nice big spaghetti squash growing. And then this is the cherry, and there's a lot of different gourds. These are all winter squashes down here that are growing. There's another. And look at that guy. Huge pumpkin. He's hidden behind all these leaves. But it just looks so beautiful. It's like a pumpkin patch. I love how it's just grown and all the different kinds of leaves and flowers, and you just move some leaves and you find some surprises. That's always fun. And then over here with this area, this was my lettuce area in winter, but I planted some squash to kind of get a better root system, and I just harvested some that were bigger than my head yesterday. And this is so cute. I love the way that looks. So it's kind of growing up on the deck, which is, I love it. I love the way that looks. So if we follow this over here, I'll show you what's at the end of that. It's a giant pumpkin. It's got some ugly ribbing, but it's interesting because this stem is the same color as the pumpkin. So this one is called Big Moon, and it could get, if you pick off all the other pumpkins and just let one focus, it could be like 1,000 pounds. I don't expect mine to get that big, but I have been picking off any other pumpkins like that. So this would grow into a pumpkin, but I'm trying to just see how big this one can get, even though it's kind of funky, because look at the bottom. That's not normal for a pumpkin either. Okay, and then I got an extra compost bin because I was going through too much. Okay, so over here we have this mini tiger striped pumpkin, a watermelon, and then a bunch of other pumpkins. This is like, I think it's a Cinderella pumpkin. And then I showed you the Casper last time, so it's a little bit bigger. It has a while to go. A while to grow. So watermelon. It's like a little cute butt-shaped one. And then this is like a cantaloupe or something, and there's 3 of them. Look at that. Nice big size. So yeah, these look good. These are the California poppies that were all in bloom, looking like this, nice orange everywhere. So they have died off, but I'm letting the seed pods dry out because the seed pods will pop open and fling the California poppies, so that next year hopefully I can get more poppies without having to plant. And look at my elderberries. I tried one just off the vine. It was disgusting. So next year I will have to actually make something with it like I did the elder flowers. Here we got a little pumpkin here. I pruned this area so that it was not super overgrown and you can kind of walk in the middle. But Not getting as many squash back here as in the garden area. I think because, again, this is just fill dirt. It's not full of nutrients. Okay, and I think one last thing is the sunflowers. Last month, the sunflowers did not have any flowers on them, and so now scarlet sunflowers do. So this little guy is super cute, a little mini guy. And then this was the first one that came, and so I already started peeling off the flowers to look at the seeds. So it's kind of cool. And then they're kind of a little droopy because they don't get enough water, but this guy's just opening up. So that's it. So I will see you again in August. Thanks for hanging out with me.